What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Everything Money chat. How's it going? So, exciting days going on right now. Have you guys seen Bitcoin? That thing's been up and down like crazy. Hit 71,000 or whatever. Went down to 52 recently, 53. Now back up to 57. On this live stream, we are going to go over whatever conversations you want to have. Ask questions in the chat. Be respectful of others. We're here to have engaging conversations. If you're part of our community, maybe mention that at some point. I wish there was a way that in the YouTube thing, we could have like an EM logo next to everybody who's part of our community. That'd be kind of awesome. Yeah, Nate, the market is crazy. 20-year bear market ahead. I mean, what he's talking about is secular bull and bear markets. If you go look at history, basically it's 17 or 20-year cycles that happen in terms of the markets. The question becomes, what was 2000 to 2009? Was that a bear, secular bear that was just very short and then became a secular bull? Maybe so. It's kind of looking like that. An example of something I was wrong on because I just thought we were going to have 5 or 6 more years of sideways movement again, but who knows here. Enphase is not a company I understand very well. Let's see here. Michael Wright, hello from Seoul, Korea. Wow, good for you. Hey, Rocket Mike. Morning to you too. What do I think about WM, waste management? Let's look it up. All right, waste management. $85 billion market cap, $110 billion enterprise value. That's a kind of a lot. Free cash flow. PE seems kind of hefty. Dividend eats up a big chunk. Look at this, guys. Dividend eats up a big chunk of their free cash flow. 1.15 billion, over half. Let's see what the pillars are telling us as a story. Yeah, that's what I thought. Now, I don't know what their debt's comprised of. My guess is a company like Waste Management can probably support some debt, but I want to understand a lot about the debt because 10.5 times is a lot. That's a lot. And it's a pretty hefty 5-year PE and 1-year PE. I mean, where's the growth coming from? The ROIC isn't huge. I don't know. For me, I'm like, Like for me, I'm just not excited about this one. I don't look at this going, yeah. I just look at this going, nothing is making me go, want to peel back more layers. That's my opinion. So if you want to tell me what your opinion is, I'd love to hear it. Okay. Visa. Visa is a great company. I love it. I don't know if it's too expensive or not right now. Great margins, great return on invested capital. Let's pull it up here. I mean, great returns on invested capital, great margin. Is a PE of 26 and 28 reasonable? I could see the argument for that. You just got to be ready that if the consumer you've got to be ready to buy at lower prices. That's all I'm going to tell you. Whenever you pay this kind of money for a company and you really believe in it. But be ready for lower prices. Be ready to buy it at much, much lower prices. Great free cash flow. The 8 pillars here, it's just a matter of 5-year PE and 5-year price of free cash flow. Look at this. Revenue growth in the last 5 years, 10 billion. Cash flow, 7.8. This story right here that the pillars are telling me is like, holy cow, this thing is a cash machine. Visa is a cash machine. They pay this silly dividend, 0.75, eats up 4 billion of their free cash flow. I mean, if somebody said to me, Paul, I'm buying it today, I wouldn't be like, oh, you're an idiot. I'd be like, yeah, I don't blame you, but be ready for lower prices. The consumer's starting to, guys, I was worried when Lowe's, Home Depot, and Target all reported lower same-store sales. That made me go, is the consumer weaker? You know, one thing I want to talk about, and guys, if you don't follow me on Twitter, what was that? What's on the screen? Oh, yeah, but I'm going to pull up my Twitter. Okay, so what was a tweet I saw today? Actually, I got to pull it up. Hang on a second. Let me find it real quick, guys. It's a very interesting tweet. And again, not trying to be a fudster, but just trying to look at it and say, what does this all mean? So hang on a second, guys. Global market observe. I don't know how accurate this is, but look at this. U.S. bankruptcy filings this year, going back to 2010, we have the highest number of bankruptcies in the first half of the year. In the first half of the year since 2010. This was not a great economy back then. The economy was still rebounding. These were probably still a lot of bankruptcies from the great financial crisis going through. I think things are not as rosy as people think. This doesn't mean that you should be scared to death and so. No, it just means be ready. Still stick to your dollar cost averaging. Guys, I use that retirement calculator literally weekly because I just want to remind myself. I'm the number one user on our software, the retirement calculator, and I'm the one that's not going to retire. Just to remind myself, Paul, your future looks good. Don't take on unnecessary risks like shorting Nvidia like you did. Great lesson learned. Great lesson learned. And when you're looking at a deal now, do the deal only if it makes sense to you. And I look at this and I'm looking at U.S. bankruptcy saying, okay, Paul, you have a lot of dry powder waiting. Now, granted, that dry powder is making 5.4% a year, which is awesome because 3 years ago it was making 0%. So that's what I'm just trying to sit there and say. When I see these things, it kind of worries me. Again, I'm not trying to be a fudster. It's just something to consider here. That makes sense. We're going to do a video on Walgreens. Yeah. Let's see. I agree with Dalton. Walgreens is trading like it's going bankrupt. The reason I sold Walgreens a while ago, I didn't like the ROIC, and I just was feeling uncomfortable with the debt. Even though a lot of the debt is store locations and leases, it just like made me uncomfortable. I was like, you know what? I have to watch this thing too much, and that's not what I want to do. But here's the deal, value seeker. Walmart warned some time ago that increased sales reflected mostly inflation, but it didn't affect Home Depot, didn't affect Lowe's, and didn't affect Target to the positive. It still had same store guidance down, which is kind of my concern. Great companies, S&P Global and FICO. I haven't looked at them in more detail. I used to look at eBay all the time. eBay is just an interesting business because they're buying back a lot of shares. The question is, what does eBay look like in 10 years? I used to be into eBay. I know Monish Pabrai likes eBay. But again, my views on what I wanted to own changed, and that's why I stopped looking at eBay. eBay is a company I think you have to pay attention to for a long period of time. But could it be a company that's a cannibalizer, buys its shares back like crazy? Yes, it could. We're doing a video soon on Lululemon. Starbucks. I'm trying to buy more shares of Starbucks at lower prices. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So, guys, and if you're not part of our community, remember, I put this in all the videos because it's really important. We are changing the community to be a lot more exclusive in terms of the tools we're using. Right now, anybody who signs up gets all these tools, but that's going away soon. So we have limited spots every day. We've already sold a ton of spots for the day, and it's only, 11 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to be focusing more on different parts so people can get different parts of our software, and the price is going up. So if you want all of this software and tools, click the link. We're going to post the link in the chat. You got to sign up now. It's $7 for 7 days to try it out. And yeah, it's just crazy if you don't sign up because you're going to get all these tools and all the tools you make in the future. So you got to do it. Let's see what else we got here. Starbucks down 5% today. Woo! I think, yeah, giddy up is right. Wow, Starbucks is down 5%. Let me check that out. Is there any reason, or is it just moment? Down 5% today. I see down 0.3% today. Huh, interesting. Where are you seeing 5%? Or do you mean 0.5%? Baidu. The only Chinese company I own and I have enough invested in is Alibaba. Again, don't buy a company just because I do. But there was another great post on Twitter today. And I posted this one. I actually did post about. So I want to show you guys this one, my post. Let's show you my post here. So a guy I follow was talking about the 13 big negative narratives on China since 2021. Only 2 are still standing or true. And this is what I talk about when I talk about investing. This is what I want to post here. News follows the stock price. Just because a piece of news occurs doesn't mean that news is relevant. And most times it's something that's already existed that people just didn't pay attention to. When a stock goes like this, along the way, people are going to start giving the news that justifies the stock price going down. Is it going to be positive news or negative news? Of course, it's going to be negative. When a stock is going like this, they're going to focus on the positive news because it's going up. News follows the stock price. Here's the stock price. The news is far behind like this. So what makes investing difficult is that you have to sit there and go look at the news and go, what data here makes sense? I remember 2006, I bought a house to flip it. And I remember I was at a barber shop and the guy was like, hey, what do you do for a living? I said, oh, I'm in real estate. He goes, oh, like what? I'm like, I do apartments and I flip homes. He goes, oh, anything local? I was like, yeah, I just bought this house on blah, blah, blah. I gave him the address. He goes, you bought that house? I go, yeah. He didn't mention anything about price. He didn't mention anything. He goes, that's a terrible house. I go, really? He goes, yeah. He's like the walls and the basement are 2x6s and not cinder block. And I remember thinking to myself like, oh my God, I made a mistake. Meanwhile, and I didn't buy it to flip it. I bought it to rent it. Meanwhile, I'm into that house. I was into that house for like $330,000 and now it's worth like $750 and I collect a lot of money in rent. But I remember thinking to myself later when I finally got the confidence to be like, that was stupid. It's like, hey pal, so you're telling me if it was $1, you wouldn't buy that house? He never once mentioned, he never asked me how much you paying for the house. What's the house worth? Nothing. It was just, oh, that house. And I remember thinking to myself, that wasn't relevant information. Now I can look back and say that wasn't relevant information. I've owned that house for 17 years now and never had a problem with the basement. Never had a problem with the foundation. Never had a problem with the house besides the roof. That's it. And I look at that saying, this is what people do. They attach themselves to news as opposed to taking a step back and saying, does this news matter? That's the question. You're right, Dalton. If you're not willing to think and take in data and make judgments, probably better to dollar cost average and stay away from individual stocks. Yeah. My opinion on Nvidia, phenomenal company, amazing growth, probably one of the biggest growth stories we've seen ever. Is it too expensive? I think, guys, just like when a stock is falling and the news is too negative, the same can happen on the upside. You got to ask yourself, can Nvidia still what's the cash flow that Nvidia has to grow to justify the current stock price? That's the question. Oh, Taylor, what's up, man? Life's going great, man. I get married in a month. I say that like it's like, oh yeah, Nate, I love Same as Ever by Morgan Housel. Yeah, and Psychology Money was great. I feel like everybody is always so big on, oh, I'm getting married. I feel like my wife and I have been married for a long time. My fiance and I have been married for a while already. So it's like, it's not like this euphoric event that we have where we see each other as these like perfect individuals. We see each other as flawed individuals. And by the way, she just got the vid. Lisa got COVID. She's at home right now with COVID. She was literally sick yesterday. She goes, I'm going to take a test. She's like, oh my God, I got COVID. I was like, oh boy. Yeah, Samuel, you're right. Even if Nvidia doesn't crash, it will go sideways or produce support. But when was the last time a stock went sideways? What's so funny, guys?
He said it's not funny. You're laughing. He said you're laughing about Lisa.
Oh, I think it's funny that she got COVID.
She's like,
who the hell gets COVID? I got COVID last year, earlier this year. I mean, who gets COVID anymore?
I think it's kind of norm now, right?
Yeah, it's the norm now. Yeah, value seeker. We're in some sort of bubble right now. I also look at crypto and go, how is crypto not a bubble? No intrinsic value whatsoever. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Guys, when was the last time you saw a company that stayed out of favor and just went sideways for a long time without major fluctuations? Taylor, yeah, you should have gotten the invite in the mail. Did you not get it? Maybe I sent it to the wrong address. I apologize. If I did, let me know. Mr. Beast has hit 300 million subscribers on YouTube. That means he is 1,000 times bigger than we are. That's incredible. That is incredible. Hype. Hype, I'm not trying to laugh at you. That's still part of the team. He hasn't been with us for 2 years. He has not been with us for 2 years. The day crypto would be the biggest I've ever seen. I mean, Samuel, I'm not trying to be... I am an introvert, Matthew. That's the funny thing. Matt Jones, I am an introvert, actually. The day crypto falls apart. Samuel, I hate to say it. I agree with you. I know that sounds terrible. I shouldn't wish for people, but I look at I literally don't respect anybody who looks at crypto as a value storing asset to be invested in. I can understand if you say, listen, I don't know what crypto's worth, but there is value to it. Great. The technology, great. But you can have the technology without having the investment portion of it. I just don't get the crypto thing. And I hate to say it, but I agree with you. I think I'm going to smile and trust me, I'm going to troll. I'm going to troll hard if that day comes.
Yeah. You saw that CNBC article I sent you. It said stolen crypto doubled to 1.38 billion in the first half of 2024. This was an article yesterday on CNBC, and it said research firm says. That's crazy.
Well, Zane, as you realize, my analysis lacks depth because we have 10 or 12 minutes. I can't possibly go in depth into any investment. Second, I don't believe you need to unpeel 8,000 layers up on a company, especially if it's a big company. I don't need to know what Nike CEO. I don't need to know those things to know that Nike is a good company and the price falls enough. I'm okay with that. On smaller companies that Dalton goes after, yeah, you have to absolutely way more in-depth details. I've realized what kind of investor I am. The whole point is, remember, you know who's an in-depth investor? Jeremy from Financial Education. He was in depth on Tattooed Chef. He made fun of me and said, you got to understand the business inside out before you look at the numbers. Cool. How did that work out for him? All his investments are shit. I mean, I get it, Zane, but at the same point, I'm looking at this going, you can't possibly sit there and expect in 12 minutes of time to do an in-depth analysis on a company. And if Microsoft fell to $50 tomorrow, how much in-depth analysis do you need to do? That's an extreme, but the point is, if the price is cheap enough, I don't need to do as much research, and that's the way I choose to be. Rocket Mike. My opinion. So Rocket Mike is asking, I have 150 shares of Google, bought them at 139. Do you think it would be a good idea to sell 40 or 50%, 40 or 50 for gains? I'm really concerned about possible recession next year. I like to prepare. I cannot tell you what the right move is here. What I can say is, this is a tough question to ask, and I don't blame you for asking it. And it's a question that we've all encountered. What I'm trying to teach, and what might not work for you, is where do you think Google will be in 10 years? Don't worry about what's going to happen next year. We don't know what's going to happen. Since COVID crash, I'm like, okay, we're going to have a sideways market. I was wrong. And I wish I could go back and change that. And I listen to all the greats and they say, don't try to speculate on what's going to happen in the next 1, 3, 5, 6 months. I have no idea what's going to happen. I personally, this is for me, this is what makes me sleep at night. I don't touch it. I bought a lot of stocks in the last year that have skyrocketed in price. I don't even look at them because I don't even want to see, hey, you're plus. I mean, I know Sprouts Farmers Market, I'm up like over 100%. And I hate seeing that because a big part of me goes, I want to sell, but I don't do it because I'm like, listen, Paul, you have lost out on so many gains from that. But what you do is up to you. I'm just giving you what my personal opinion is. You're in a tough situation. Enjoy it. Now, I would say this. If you have some losses on other stocks, short-term losses, maybe sell your Google, sell the losses, offset them, and rebuy Google back. You'll save a lot of money on taxes that way. That's something I would consider doing. So what you do, but it has to be short-term to short-term, long-term to long-term gains and losses. Oh, really, Matt? I know a lot of crypto people who echo Paul's criticism of crypto. Interesting. Adam, I believe you should own a company because the long-term economics of the business makes sense, not based on what short-term gyrations and CPI do. I know it's easy to get involved in that, but I think the big key is The way I look at them is, do I think this company will be around for a long time? And do I think the revenue and profit will grow over time? And can I pay a reasonable price for that company today that'll give me an adequate return on my capital? That's what I try to teach. I don't want to make decisions based on what CPI is going to be, et cetera. I'm going to let the chips fall where they fall. And then if the stock falls, I buy more of it. That's the big key for me. I agree with you, Samuel. I agree with you. He wrote, my personal rule is the higher the ROIC/moat, the higher percentage over intrinsic value I continue to hold. Oh, okay. So Stoen has his own theory. Stoen goes, I have a rule. When a stock becomes 100% gain, I just take my money and the other 50% are for free and I'll keep them forever. Well, you got to do what's right for you at the end of the day. But I will say this, the old adage of you can't lose money taking a profit is 100% wrong. 100% wrong. Let me give you a really terrible story. I was one of the few people who wanted Microsoft at $17 and $20 a share. Yes, I talk about this all the time because it was a great learning lesson. At $60 a share, I said it's overpriced. Let me sell it. It'll come back. I haven't bought it since. It's now at $400 and some a share. And guess what? It's worth $250 to $300 all probably in my intrinsic value. So I look at it going, is it overpriced right now? Yes. But I sold at 60 and watched intrinsic value 4x. I feel I try to penny pinch in the short run. I need to really trim. I know. Adam, great comment. I feel I try to penny pinch in the short run to maximize long-term growth. I need to really train my mind not thinking that way. Appreciate your thoughts. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. So if you want a penny pinch on that, I assume you mean in terms of a stock falling. Hey, by the way, Nick, can you get me a Coke Zero? Be ready to dollar cost average. Don't buy as much or buy some and just wait for the stock price to fall. I think whatever you choose to do, you just got to do it consistently. As long as it's based in some sort of, do you have a cup there? As long as you have some sort of like value-based system. I used to have a Bloomberg terminal and I would back test all these different value ideas going back to 1996. And what I found was, as long as you kept your value principles to a few, 2, 3, 4 points, and we're consistent, you beat the market. That's what mattered. So stick to it, but you got to be, I could be wrong about Palantir just like Microsoft. I could very well be wrong. 100%, that's a very, very strong likelihood. I should say this, a very realistic likelihood. That very well could be the case. Microsoft and Palantir are very different companies at their points. Oh yeah, the coffee can approach is awesome, Nate. But I very well could be wrong about Palantir. But remember one thing about Palantir. I still have an unease about the way they handle their books. I still do say that about Palantir. Yep, Samuel, I was even worse than you. I sold at 190 or so, 195. And I bought literally on the low, November 4th, 2022. 2021. Whatever the day was of the low. 22 or 21. Yeah. You've had your Microsoft since 2000? Holy shit. Dave, what's more important, share count or stock average? I don't know if I understand the question, Dave. Do you mind explaining further what you mean? Listen, the great thing about Palantir is great balance sheet, a lot of growth, great margins. Their CEO is a cluster F, so that's the only thing I don't like about the company. Alex Karp is a wackadoo. Do you think Buffett bought Nike? Did they? I don't think so. Maybe he did. I have not heard that. Wait a second, Dalton. Every investor I know that's successful has said their biggest losses are stocks they sold, never stocks, never stocks that went against them. Yeah, I know. Listen, since March of 2020, it's about 4 years now, I've learned some amazing lessons in investing, amazing lessons in money management. And that's part of the process. Exactly. Well, and the other thing is, Samuel, so Palantir matches estimates. If you look, Dalton, hey, Dalton, you should comment on this. When you found like these assets that suddenly appeared in the books one quarter, gained in value the next quarter, added 1 penny to beat by 1 penny or match. I look at their free cash flow and say, guys, why are you trying to manipulate EPS? Your free cash flow is awesome. To me, it says like their focus isn't on the right thing. Focus on your business. I've never looked at Kenview. Oh, no, I have looked at Kenview. Yes, I've seen that. At one time, I had an average of Palantir at $11 now. Great job. Great job. I remember I said everybody I'd buy Palantir at $5. I think it went to $5.83, so I never got it. And I didn't even know if I would have bought it at $5 because that Alex Karp guy just, I don't know. Yeah, stock-based compensation on Palantir is insane. So guys, again, if you're not part of the community, go check it out. everythingmoney.com/sign-up. Limited spots every day. You get all the tools before we take it away, because we are taking it away in the near future to focus our offerings on what is better options for people individually, and they can add from there. But it's not going to get cheaper, I'm going to tell you that. So you're going to pay the same price to get less. You have a decision to make. everythingmoney.com/sign-up.
But just a reminder to everybody who is a part of the community, you're always going to keep everything.
Yep.
And you're going to keep your great price that you have.
Yep. SBC for them has fallen a lot. You might be right. I think Intel is a long-term play, and they have to come through. But I think the tailwinds will help them. Ford, oh man, the car business is so tough. Capital intensive business. Oh, low margins. I don't know. For me, I just try to avoid it. For me. Maybe you're right, Brian. Yeah, spend less than you make. It's a good rule to have. Oh, that's great, Shaheen. I'm really glad your channel helped me a lot about how to invest. Thanks very much, Forsha. I appreciate it. Does Berkshire still own Snow? I don't know if they do. When I can't find stocks to buy, linear trade solid. Oh yeah, I agree, Value Seeker. I love the options. Options are great. Even trading is great. Yeah. CRM has felt like an expensive company for a while, but let's look at it. Oh, down 2% today. Oh, 22 times free cash flow, 45 times PE. So the free cash flow is way higher than, oh, look at that. That's awesome. So guys, look at their free cash flow. 11 billion last year versus 5.5 billion net income, 6.6 billion free cash flow in the last 5 years versus 2.2. So they have a lot of free cash flow there. What is this stupid dividend? Well, what are you doing, CRM? Look at this great balance sheet though. $250 billion versus 267 enterprise value. So what's the ROIC? Oh, very low. Wonder why that is. Maybe because they're growing. I have no idea. Okay. I'm not even looking at this. That doesn't bother me. Terrible ROIC. You got to go understand that. Why is it bad? Shares outstanding is up. Free cash flow is up a ton. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It is interesting. What are analysts saying? Steady growth in EPS, steady growth in revenue. When was the last time I did CRM in our software? February 27th. I did 7, 10, and 13% revenue growth. 7, 12, and 17 for profit margin. 17, 19, 21, 17. All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to pay attention No, maybe higher than 150. I should probably increase that. I still think it's a little overpriced. I don't know. It's a tough one because what's the ROIC down for? Oh, Dave, this is the question he's asking. Let's say I have $71 average on Apple. Obviously, when I buy more Apple, my average will go up. Is share count better or more? To me, it's more important on every individual investment you're making in that company. Is it a good investment? Don't worry about how the average turns out. When it's going down, that's great as long as the thesis is still the same. If you're still buying a company that's getting better intrinsic value, but the price is falling, that's what you need to focus on. Oh, how banks do? I don't know. Peter, which books do I enjoy? On my Twitter, which you should be following. Why aren't you guys following me? My very first post, I pin a post about the books that I recommend. So go follow me on Twitter at EMPaulG. Do you remember a year off the top of your head for what? What are you asking me for, Samuel? Or are you asking somebody else? Oh, you're asking Dalton. Got it. Yeah, I agree with you, Samuel. I don't think it was Buffett. Day. If one purchased stock in 2020 during the meme craze or down, would you recommend selling them and cutting losses? Evaluate the companies. If you think they're worth something, make a decision. If you don't think they're worth something, make a decision. My experience for me has been, when I make a bad investment, exit, move on, get it out of your mind, and go focus on making good investments from there. That's it. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. I'm a big fan of you, buddy. For me, it's hard to buy a company when I bought. I know, Stolen, you're 100% right. It's so hard. For me, it's hard to buy a company when I bought it much lower. I know. It's so hard. And it might still be a good deal. Like, look at Sprouts. I bought Sprouts at $32, $33 a share. It would be hard that if I thought Sprouts was worth $150 a share right now to even buy it at 70. I'd be like, damn, I bought it at 30. That's the hardest thing to do. But remember, if they're getting better and it's still a value, it's still a value. If you were to look at it today and it was and for the first time, what would you do? What's the term between ROIC and ROCE? They're close. Dalton, do you mind handling that question from Alagos? Oh, that's such a great comment, Stoen. I love it. For me, it's hard to buy a company when I bought it at much lower prices. You know why I love this conversation, this comment so much? It has to do with something very important that I've been talking about a lot on the channel, even more so than before. The stomach is the hard part of investing. It's this. Guys, the numbers are there. That's why when that comment of like, oh, he doesn't go in depth, I'm like, in depth, like, okay, great. Go in depth all you want. If you're not going to buy it when it's falling, it doesn't matter. If you don't have the stomach to buy things when they're falling or when they're out of favor, it doesn't matter what you do. Lost Islander, that's a great comment. Oh, that's funny. Stocks are like women, not all keepers. Move on. Hashtag move on. Hashtag you right. Down. In the short run, I'm sure anything bad happening in China is going to affect Alibaba. The question is, in the long run, what's going to matter? Mo is at a pro-am right now, playing golf with my brother and Andrew, our other business partner. They got some guy. He was telling me yesterday, he's like, I don't know who it was, but he's like, the guy's pro-Trump and loves country music, so I'm good. I was like, all right, sounds good.
Ken Duke. That's who they're playing for.
Ken
I have
Duke.
no idea who Ken Duke is.
I have no idea who Ken Duke is.
I know they just didn't get John Daly. That was their first pick.
Well, John Daly already had somebody, like
that was their first pick, and like somebody basically, whoever probably donated the most money or whatever, just got him. So.
And it's raining outside. Is it still raining? I texted them like, great day for a pro-am, guys.
I think it was raining when they were going to tee off. That's for sure.
Mo's so funny. Mo is so funny.
When I think of pro-am, I just think of Happy Gilmore and, right? And Bob Barker fighting on the golf course.
Yeah, that was good. The price is wrong, bitch. All right. Thanks, Stoyan. You know what's great, guys? What do you think about insiders buying up the stock of a company? I mean, guys, people, as we always say, people only buy stock for one reason. That's to make money. So if they're buying it with their own money, and also it's got to be sizable. I don't want to see, like when I see people go, guys, Nvidia's CEO just sold $20 million in stock. I'm like, he has $100 billion in stock. Who the fuck cares about $20 million? That doesn't say anything. If he bought $10 million in stock, I'd be like, okay. You know what I love? When I get Instagram, Twitter messages, comments, and people are repeating the emotional, psychological stuff that I talk about. Because everybody, including me, I used to think that investing was all about the numbers. That as long as you understood the numbers, you're going to do well. I think that's because I already had the emotional fortitude of it, and I didn't realize how hard that part was. You've got to brainwash yourself. It's all about repetition, guys. I want you to be repeating the same things in your head, listening to them over and over for the rest of the time. That's how you get them ingrained in your head. There's a reason why every great shooter shoots the same shots every single day. Steph Curry, he sits from 3 feet away from the basket when he starts his shots. That's when he starts. Then he goes back 2 or 3 feet every single day. Doesn't matter. That's the most basic. He doesn't start. He said, and I quote, I think it's so funny when people start shooting shots at the 3-point line when they're practicing. No, you start at 3 feet away. These are the basics. You got to stick with the basics. The basics work. Brian, by the way, Brian, I don't want to comment on this, but Brian's comment was Google's not going to be affected too much by a recession. I'd keep the stock. I don't disagree. I don't think Google's going to be massively affected where it's going to like plummet in revenue. I could be wrong. I agree with Brian on this one. But again, I think that the right, yeah, so anyhow. Emotions are 85% of the problem. They're probably 95% of the problem, to be honest with you. Who knows? Hey, Paul, is there a platform which allows you to create performance mimics, for example, VU? I can't invest in VU directly because I'm an American living abroad in the Netherlands. So first off, Michael, you can't have a brokerage based in the US, even though you live in the Netherlands, like have a family member, like have the address go to them. That's one. Two, I don't know if there is a platform that does that. What does the Netherlands have as a brokerage house? I don't understand why they wouldn't have that. Maybe they don't. That's a good question. I agree with before diving in you can understand every detail of a company trade. Yeah, exactly, Sam. Exactly. I agree with assessing value before diving in every detail of the company. You can understand every detail of a company trading 1,000 times free cash flow, but the odds are it'll never produce you ample returns. Not only that, if you fall in love with the name of the business before you look at the numbers will just be justified by how amazing the business is. You're going to convince yourself it's justified. I focus on the numbers first. I weed out based on the numbers, and then I go from there. What did Matthew Jones say? I didn't even see it. What was his troll comment? Oh, Google's my favorite. Oh, guys, we're planning a Chipotle video soon. So we need some volunteers that we will buy you Chipotle one day. How many volunteers do we need, Tim? When are we doing this? We need 20?
I need to talk to Daryl first about how we tie it back to the value proposition of the channel, but
I don't want to talk too much about it, but
10 plus for sure.
Okay, so if you're interested in being part of a video of ours that's going to go out, it's a Chipotle video. I'm not going to explain what it is. And Matt Jones, I already told you about it, so please don't mention it in this chat, and don't sell the information either. But we have a fun Chipotle video coming up, and we need volunteers. If you want to be in the Chipotle video, you're going to get free food from us. Email nick@everythingmoney.com. Nick put it in the thing. You have to be a community member, though. You have to be an active community member to be involved in this. But it's going to give you free food, and you'll be able to be in one of our videos. Real, I agree with you. Nike, I said the other day, I hope they go to 37. Don't email you there? Oh, sorry. Help@everythingmoney.com. Sorry. Yeah, help@everythingmoney.com. Got it. Oh, hey, what's up? Batman versus Yorker, both first time with y'all. Really interested. Well, we appreciate that. Are you part of our community? Remember, we're having this I'm going to pull my screen away because I got to pull something up real quick. Hang on a second, guys. Don't get scared. Okay. There we go. Back. We got about 20 minutes left, guys. What else do you want to talk about? No, Seth is gone, has been gone for 2 years. Nice job, Michael. Yeah, there's a great, remember right now, Batman versus Yorker. If you sign up now, you get all of our tools included because we're taking the tools away from everybody unless you're an active member. Whoever's already part of the community or joining until we take it, we're going to be splitting off tools. We have to buy them separately and the cheapest plans. Oh, yes. Yes. Is this the one filled with the
No.
Where'd you go? Did you go out and buy these?
No, I just got them on Amazon.
They came that quick? Albanese, guys. These are the best. These are the best gummy bears. They stay soft all the time.
Well, that's your bag. It's resealable. So.
Yeah, no problem, Dre. I mean, it's been 2 years. Are we going to do a follow-up interview with anybody? Yes. We're going to be doing follow-up interviews as time goes on. We love the interviews. As you guys can see, our channel has changed a lot in the last year. We hired a great YouTube consultant, and he's helped us out a ton. What are you smiling about?
He's like, this is not a paid sponsorship by Albanese.
No, it's not. Or Coke Zero. Thomas Lloyd, when's my end game to take a profit? I take a profit when, it's a great question. When I've moved on from a stock and there's a better opportunity and one stock has gotten too much or the thesis changed. I have real estate, I have businesses, I have stocks, I have options, I have dividends. I don't really, it's part of the game for me. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh, this is good. How would you prepare in the beginning for a change in interest rates with real estate properties? I don't know if I really would prepare. Just be ready to buy good deals at better prices. A year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we couldn't get real estate deals. Now we're in contract. We're closing at the end of the month on a 200-unit property in Kentucky, and we're getting deals like crazy. I'm looking for rentals to buy on lakes for me. Prices are falling. Be ready to buy more. Oh, wow. Congratulations, Samuel. Where do you go to college, Samuel? What do I think about Donovan Mitchell signing? Great question. First off, Paul's such a junk food junkie. I know. The best comment ever was somebody said to me, Paul, you eat like a poor person. It was very funny to me. Donovan Mitchell, I think he signed a 3-year deal, but it was a 2-year plus a player option, which is kind of a short-term deal. I don't think he's as committed to Cleveland as he's trying to let on. I think he's kind of telling Cleveland, like, listen, if we don't get over the hump in the next year, I'm going to ask for a trade, or I'm going to opt out of 2 years. Day, for comes to gold and silver, I like to invest in companies that use gold and silver to make money. Gold miners, things like that. I don't like to buy the commodity itself. Walsh University in Canton? Samuel, you're in Canton, Ohio? At Walsh? Awesome. Does he know we're in Akron?
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh my God, he went to Walsh Jesuit for high school?
No way.
Samuel, are you freaking kidding me? You're telling me this entire time you went to Walsh. This whole entire channel is built off what I taught at Walsh for 8 years. Are you kidding me? Samuel, he's an alum of my high school, and he's not even like telling me this until now.
Not, like, intern for us or something?
Yeah, what the hell's going on here? He went to Walsh Jesuit. By the way, why haven't I been added to Wikipedia, Walsh Jesuit's Wikipedia page saying notable alums? I've not been added to that yet.
I'll make it happen.
No, don't make it happen. I'm teasing. What the F? Samuel Krukowski. Oh, gosh. When will meet Kevin Voodoo Dolls being merch? Yeah, that guy is not very smart. Yeah, guys, I really mean this. And I know a lot of people probably criticize me, but the people out there, it's funny. Tom Nash blocks me on Twitter. By the way, how can Tom Nash block me on Twitter and I can't see him? But the new rules of Twitter are you can't be blocked. What the hell? But it's funny. He trolls me after he blocks me. And he's like bragging about Palantir being at $28 a share. And I'm like, oh, that's sick. You were telling everybody it's going to 500 when it was 45 and you're bragging now. And it went to the price. He said it was worth 5 and it went to 583. That's real smart, Tom. Jesus Christ. We have a kid who went to my high school, who goes to college in my hometown. And I have no idea about this. What year did you graduate from Walsh Jesuit, Samuel? Krukowski? Is that easy? Is that hard to pronounce? I don't think so. Let me find Samuel on Instagram. Do I? I don't know if this is a Samuel Krukowski. Sam, on Instagram, are you the one? Yeah, you don't follow me, so it's probably not you. Anyways, that's so funny. 2021. That's awesome. I was supposed to, the last time I was supposed to teach at Walsh, and then we had to cancel it. But I taught for a good 8 years of one class with, I don't know if I should be saying people's names, but a Miss Hudak's class, economics class. And I would teach there. So that's so funny. Kid went to my high school. He's like, Walsh University. I'm like, wait, in Canton, Ohio, what the F? It's actually North Canton, I think. This is funny. Oh, Tommy, that's funny. Let's see here. What else we got? What else we got, guys? Oh, is it better to buy real estate REITs? So the thing about REITs is, one, there's always a huge premium you're paying because it's a REIT. Two, valuing it. Remember, real estate has a lot of depreciation, so you got to add a lot of that depreciation back in. You got to do more research on understanding the assets. I like REITs when things are like office buildings now. I'd be looking at office building REITs. That's what I'd be doing. Like, which ones have been beaten up the most, which one have the best assets, and which ones can turn around. Because office has been absolutely beat up. And the question is, do you think that's the permanent thing for the future? I don't know. I don't think work from home is going to be as big as everybody made it out to be. It's going to be a factor, but I don't think it's going to be as big as everybody made it out to be. Bam, 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 bam. What you guys got? Don't start a riot. They are great. Albanese are the best gummies. And then, of course, we have Sour Patch Kids. I was feeling very lightheaded yesterday. I was like, do we have anything sweet or sour? And Tim's like, no. And I was like, shoving Three Musketeers and Milky Ways in my mouth, but it wasn't sweet enough for me. I'm a diabetic, probably. I don't even realize it. I hate working from home. I agree with you. Is PayPal? Oh, you mean PayPal going to 50? I don't know. I hope so. What's my Instagram? It's Paul Gabriel. At Paul Gabriel. Gabriel, though. It's pronounced Gabriel, but it's spelled Gabriel. I don't have a blue check mark, though. So if you see it, my last Instagram post was funny. I put hashtag MAGA, hashtag diversity. Tim liked it. Tim laughed. Paul, did you buy Adobe shares when they were sub 500? I believe I did, or I sold options on it. What happened to Nike, McDonald's, and Starbucks stock this year? They went down a lot. I know it's a generic statement, but guys, no stock is great forever. No stock is bad. Well, I shouldn't say no stock is bad forever. Stocks go to zero all the time, but no stock is going to be great forever. There'll be a time, as I said before about Tesla, there'll be a time when people hate Elon and hate Tesla. We've already gotten some of the way there. It hasn't gone all the way through yet. We need to get to the point where people literally say Tesla is a terrible investment. I've seen it time and time and time again. It repeats itself all the time. Just the characters change. Bam, 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 bam. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I hate work from home. I used to have my office at my house above my garage. I had to go outside to go to it. I remember finally one day just going, I hate it. And I went and bought this office building. I love this office building. I literally love this office building. Like, I come here on the weekends sometimes just to like sit here. Do you? Yes, I love this office building. If I lived closer, I would come just to play
fucking
love this office building. I fucking love it. I literally like hope that we never move from this office building. I hope my ego never gets big enough to move from this.
We always expand.
Oh, yeah.
Kick people out.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do things to the dry. I want to add garages to the back for me and the guys. I want to add a patio on the back.
For you and the other people in Suite 18.
Yeah. Do you think Fubo is going bankrupt? I have no idea. I haven't looked at it. So, Value Seeker, I want to buy Tesla, just not now. The funny part is, I want to buy Tesla when the software has become a big part of the company. Everybody thinks I don't think Tesla is going to have software. I do think it. I just don't think it's a software company yet. I just don't like car margins and car business. It's just a tough business to get into. Is Fubo or Fubu? For us, by us. Yeah, Paul will have a downtown Manhattan office. Guys, I bought this office building. It's 30,000 square feet. I paid $630K for it. Yes, that's $21 a square foot.
Wow.
In 2014, October of 2014. And the reason being, that wasn't even the real estate crisis. It was just, it's not a nice part of town. It's not an exciting part of town. Everybody has office buildings they want to be cocky about. We put $500K into it. We're about ready to put another $200K into it. But we have beautiful offices. Beautiful offices. I love our office. So we got to put new windows in this year. Our HVAC system sucks. Paul, you going to add a humidor to the office? Dalton, we have a humidor in the office. Oh, that's funny. What else is going on? What's going on in the markets today? Is it up or down? Okay. Oh, look at this. Intuit's down 4%. Me likey. Intuit's a company I've been watching. Let's find Intuit. Can't wait for Intuit to buy Everything Money. Just kidding. No, I'm not kidding, actually. I think Intuit would be a great partner for Everything Money.
They're a moat.
I think when it comes to accounting software for small business, I think if you ask 100 people what accounting software to use, I think the vast majority would say QuickBooks.
So it's not like a verb, but it's a very popular, like,
correct,
tip of your tongue.
Guys, I use QuickBooks for my personal. I treat my personal life as like a business. Money comes in. I have my expenses broken down, my budget. At the end of the day, how much money is left over. I have my balance sheet. But look at this balance sheet. This company generates $5 billion in free cash flow last year, $3.6 billion a year for the last 5 years. They only have $8 billion in net debt. Actually, the return on capital is actually low. Oh, the 1 year is. The 5 years, 13%, 78% margins, 19% profit margin. Just got to wait for the price to... Look at this EPS growth according to analysts. Revenue growth. Let me see what I did last time on this company. Now. 6, 10, and 14%. Let's go 5, 8, and 11 just to be safe. 17, 19, 21, 27. PE, analyze. Yeah. I run my watches at 450 to sell puts at lower prices because I got to look at the free cash flow, not the earnings, but we'll see. Intuit's awesome. Can you give me a quick pointer on upgrading my membership? James, email help@everythingmoney.com. Ask, that's Nick. He will help you in upgrading your membership. Don't you worry.
So did you saw Martin talking about the 52-week lows?
Oh, thanks, Martin.
And John Deere.
Yep, that was one of them.
Yep, that was one of them. We were
that was
talking,
one of them.
Of course, this
last night we were just talking about
Nike,
what stocks to do.
Yeah, Paycom's in there as well as Pool. So there's some good ones.
Yeah, buy Generac for the office. You're right. If I needed that. Martin, I really appreciate the kind words. What do you think of SoFi? SoFi has become very interesting just because the stock is falling so much, but it's banking, and I think it's a little bit different than, isn't it about loans and things like that? Maybe I'm not understanding it, or is it just online banking? What's after AI? Carbon capture? Yeah.
Paul, and there's a bunch of like stocks near 52-week lows too, which is something that we have on our pillar search, guys. If you ever want to see it, we have the 52-week low, but we have the near 52-week low. And so J&J's getting there, Pepsi, Cisco, UPS, of course, Nike, Starbucks, John Deere, Hershey's is right there too, Paul, and Kraft Heinz.
Couple questions. I own BTI. Mostly because it's selling for 5 times free cash flow. And I just think it's so cheap that if you just stop that stupid 10% dividend and buy back shares, it'd be awesome. If you wanted to buy Nike at 80, drop to 70, do you put puts at 80 or just buy the stock at current price? I'd put the puts at, I don't know. It's a good question. Whatever you feel comfortable with. I usually buy a portion and then sell puts on a portion at a lower price and hopefully get it. Yeah, Yazid, we're having a little issue with the chat right now in the software. So I appreciate you saying that. Stoyan, I actually do believe Tesla has changed the car business. I actually do believe it has. Maybe it's not the level people think, but I do think it's changed the car industry. I think they've done a great job. Visa and MasterCard are dropping. Let's go. James. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very, very much. Very kind of you. And guys, if you're on Twitter, share your screenshots in the community and on Twitter on what analysis you do on stocks. I think it's a great way to engage people. The community is only getting bigger. It's only going to continue getting bigger. And you guys are wonderful for the fact that there'll be a day someday, I don't know how many users we have to have, 50,000, 100,000, I don't know, where I just stop it and go, okay, no more added new users. You can only replace a user that might leave. That's it. I want this to become like a separated out 50,000 people, but there's different communities separated out. It's not gonna be, we can't have everybody in the general chat. It would be a zoo, but we'll split people up. I think that's the way it goes. I just think this is gonna become bigger and bigger. I mean, I know it's going to because it already has. So let's go with that. Are you bullish on Japan's stock market with the weak yen? First off, I don't look at the yen at all. I'm not smart enough to do that. Japan stock market, I haven't looked at all into it. It is interesting that Warren Buffett likes Japan stock market quite a bit. That is very interesting. But I think there'll be enough opportunities here in the US for me. Guys, we have about 3 minutes left. What else do you guys want to chat about? Tesla cracks me up. Basically, every car company trades it. Yep, I know. I don't disagree with you. Samuel, it's everybody thinking it's a software business. And I did a video. Did you guys see the video today in the main channel? Let's put a link to that video today in the main channel where you talk about Tesla. It's all about FSD.
Yeah, it's a really good video about FSD.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, Paul, that what was it, 10 years? This is a little spoiler. 10 years it takes them to reach that level if it's in like every car in America.
Yeah, I don't see how it works very well. Oh, thanks, Nate. I appreciate it. Yeah, scaling problems in the community is a good problem to have. And we've had those problems, and we did a great job. You know, Tim and Nick over here have done a great job. Tim does a great job in handling the videos and the software developers. Nick does a great job in handling the edits, and Justin does a great job with our edits. We have a really great team. We have a really, really great team. And you know what the best part about our team is? Our number one developer 2 or 3 years ago wouldn't even be hired today. And I don't mean that to criticize that developer. I mean, our quality has gotten so much better on our team that literally our number one developer 2 years ago, I remember the guy saying like, please, like I want you long-term. Our number one developer, we wouldn't even hire him today. And that's not a criticism. By the way, he's a better developer today, I'm sure. I'm just saying if 2 or 3 years ago guy came today with his same qualifications as 2 or 3 years ago, we'd say, yeah, you don't qualify for us. So the thing, Mark, about SoFi is I think it has a lot of banking attached to it, not just like, so like, let's look at the balance sheet. I don't even have an enterprise value. What? Is the data feed rest up on this thing? Why don't we have an enterprise value on this thing? Probably goes off the trailing 12 months. That's why. Got it. Yeah, I think it's off that thing. Where? Market cap is clickable. Yeah. I mean, look at this. If analysts are right on SoFi, it's not making a lot of money today, but look at the growth in the future. You're talking about paying 6 times. So SoFi, like I said, are they just... That's the thing. They have mortgages, they have student loans, they have personal loans. It's not just a fee-based business. So it's a complicated balance sheet that makes it more like a bank than anything. And that's why I kind of stay away from it from my standpoint. I think her currently is that. Yeah, I agree, Martin. Brushing teeth in the shower. First off, Martin, brushing teeth in the shower is wonderful. I love brushing my teeth in the shower. I do it. I have 2 toothbrushes, one at my sink and one in the shower. And I have 2 toothpastes, one in the sink, one in the shower. At night, I use the one in the sink. In the morning, when I take a shower, I use the one in the shower. I only floss in the morning, though. I'm not a sociopath like my brother who flosses like 4 times a day.
I don't think there's a person in this world that's got better dental hygiene than Mikey.
Lisa.
Really?
Lisa flosses.
I'll go up in the bathroom and Mikey's in there brushing his teeth.
I know.
Yeah. Wow.
Listen, once a week, I don't even brush my teeth at night. I'm just like, I'm too lazy. I just go to bed. I'm just like, I don't care. And Lisa's like, sweet. What's up, Michael Dearman? Guys, oh, we're done. Guys, 11 o'clock. Thank you very much for your time. Don't forget, join the community, everythingmoney.com/sign up, because you will get all the tools for life if you do, because we're going to be changing things soon enough. Thank you for your time.